Hello and welcome to this short video about the history curriculum here at Crossflatts Primary School. I'm Miss Lee and I'm the history lead. Our history curriculum allows children to develop their own skills as historians. It enables children to gain a coherent knowledge and understanding of Britain's past and that of the wider world. We aim to inspire children's curiosity to learn about the past and equip them to ask questions, think critically, weigh evidence and develop perspective and judgment. This supports and enables children to evaluate and challenge their own and others' views using historical evidence. This develops children's understanding of the changes in the world throughout history and how these events have shaped the world that they currently live in. Our history curriculum is progressive and it begins in the early years foundation stages. Here they gain further understanding of history within their own lives, with a focus on key vocabulary to help enable children to begin to build their understanding of the meaning of past, present and future, and the differences between them. They also learn about traditions and festivals celebrated around the world and within their families. By the end of Key Stage 1, children will have begun to gain an understanding of some of the local history in Bradford through hands-on experiences, learning about events beyond their living memory, where they begin to compare aspects of life in different periods. Throughout Key Stage 2, children will expand their knowledge of the local history in addition to how the history of Britain has influenced and been influenced by the wider world. This includes studies such as ancient civilisations and empires from the Stone Age, ancient Egyptians and the Maya civilization, to the Roman Empire, the Vikings, Anglo-Saxons and World War II. In Key Stage 2, children continue to build on prior learning, where they will draw on their knowledge from previous topics in order to develop and build on their understanding. The school's history curriculum is covered through 6 strands from early years foundation stages to year 6. Areas of study. In early years foundation stages, children remember and talk about significant events and people past and present in their own lives. In Key Stage 1, children follow on from this with learning about the lifetime of their grandparents and significant changes and events beyond their living memory. Throughout Key Stage 2, children will learn about ancient civilisations, as well as the Vikings, ancient Greeks, Romans, Saxons and World War II. Chronological understanding is key, as it contributes to the children developing a coherent understanding of the past. It helps them to measure and reference events in history, the times they occurred, and how certain time periods and events relate to each other. Children in EYFS begin with talking about past and present events in their own living memory and begin to order these. Key Stage 1 learning builds relevant vocabulary when talking about the past and present and changes in their own lives, and they begin to place events on a timeline in order of when they happened. Key Stage 2 continues with using timelines that are divided into BCE and AD to order events, understanding how some historical events occurred concurrently in different locations, for example, ancient Egypt and prehistoric Britain. Knowledge and understanding of events, people and changes in the past. By the end of Key Stage 1, children will be able to use the information they have researched to describe the past, make comparisons between the past and present, recount the main events from the topics they have studied, and give reasons as to why some people acted in the way they did. In Key Stage 2, this knowledge and understanding will develop, with children being able to give reasons as to why changes may have occurred and back this up with evidence, describe culture and leisure activities, and compare people, events, artefacts and historical buildings. Children will also be able to describe how some of the things studied have affected and influenced the world today. Historical enquiry. Children in Key Stage 1 begin with exploring events and looking at objects and pictures to answer questions, encouraging children to ask their own questions and being able to identify different ways in which the past is presented. As children progress through Key Stage 2, they use a wider range of sources, such as documents, printed sources, the internet, databases, pictures and photographs, and learn to choose reliable sources of evidence in order to answer questions and investigate their own lines of inquiry. Historical interpretation. The use of books and pictures, stories, eyewitness accounts, artefacts, historic buildings, museums, galleries, historical sites and the internet in Key Stage 1 are used in order for children to find out about the past. Throughout Key Stage 2, children explore the idea that there are different accounts of history and give reasons as to why evidence is biased and how this can affect interpretation, as well as evaluating evidence in order to choose the most reliable form. Organisation and communication. From EYFS and throughout the school, Children will build on the relevant historical vocabulary when describing, comparing and evaluating the historical aspects of their learning. Through Key Stage 1, children will tell stories about the past and communicate their ideas through speaking, drawing, writing, role play and the use of ICT. Key Stage 2 follows on with developing the skills previously learnt along with using diagrams and data handling. This leads on to children planning and presenting research and self-directed projects about the periods they have studied. Each history topic in Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 have a range of focuses. Power, which includes the ideas of monarchy, government and empire. Invasion, which includes the idea of empire. Civilization, which includes the ideas of cultural and social history. Religion, which also includes the ideas of cultural and political history. And trade. One of the ways we celebrate diversity here at Crossflatts Primary School is by celebrating Black History Month, and this is also woven throughout other topics over the course of the year. At Crossflatts Primary School, the history learning is brought to life through educational visits and additional external sources. History also has strong links to other areas of the curriculum, such as geography, science, art and design technology, English, maths, music, RE and computing. Key moments and anniversaries throughout British history are remembered across the school. We discuss the importance of these and the impact that these have had on the world in which we live in today. If you would like any further information on how history is taught at Crossflatts Primary School, all these documents can be found on our school website under Curriculum and Learning, Non-Core Curriculum, History. You can also contact myself, Miss Lee, or your child's class teacher.